Welcome to Nacho Cinema. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we are reviewing from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Was that always the full title, or did they kind of add that?
I'm not sure. I feel like it was, and then we all assumed it would be. This is just a working title. This isn't what it's going to end up being. And then I've seen it listed as just Ballerina on a couple websites, but I think this is still the official title, and it's kind of hilarious how long it is.
It really is. But even for how long of a title it had, I believe this one was on both of our most anticipated lists, and for me, I think it was even my number one. I believe it
I
was.
think it was right up there. You'll have to go and watch that video. We made it at the start of the year. One of the first videos we ever made. So go check it out and see where we put it and what other movies were on there. And then you can watch all the reviews of the movies that we've already seen from that list.
Exactly, and see how it's going so far for us. But yeah, this one, yeah, we just get right on this channel. We're not your average, so we get to our scores right away. So if that's all you're looking for, we'll give those to you right now, and then I believe they'll be on the screen for the rest of the time if I remember right, Pepper.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, and then we'll just go through the good, bad, ugly kind of things in the movie. So yeah, right off the bat. I'll say I don't think this is going to. If it was my most anticipated, I don't think it will probably reach that spot for me. But I still enjoyed it quite a bit. It definitely felt like a John Wick style movie, so that did not disappoint in that way at all. And I'm probably going to come in. Ooh, maybe at an eight. At an eight,
Okay.
possibly. But this is one that I would watch again. I don't know if I say that on all the videos, but I think I've mentioned it a couple times on the ones that I would watch, and this is definitely one that I would go back and watch again.
Yeah.
There have been a couple that I would not be as interested in going back and rewatching.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't my 10 most anticipated. I don't know. I don't think it will be in my top 10 of the year. But I did still have fun with it. It has a lot of the John Wick fun. I'm probably coming in with an 8 as well. I'm like, okay, I have to, I really love John Wick 4, so anything coming after that one is going to be, I have to have my expectations in check, so I'm like, it's still a really good movie. I mean, like, if you hadn't seen any of the John Wick movies previously, this is going to introduce you into a whole new style that is above most other things, so I think I need to keep that in mind when I rate this and not just compare it to what's come before. So I give it an 8 out of 10. Still a pretty good score.
Yeah, and it looks like the audience is really eating it up, really liking it, and even the critics like this one as well. As you can see here, it's action thriller, about 2 hour long movie. I didn't feel like it felt
Yeah.
dragging on at all. I never felt that in this one, so
I
always a good
agree.
thing.
That is a good thing. Speaking of good things,
Let's
let's
get
move
right to the
on
pros. And there
to
may be
the.
some minor spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers at all, I'm sure we will accidentally spoil some small things. So go check
Yeah.
out the movie if you're wanting to uh, stay spoiler free completely.
Yes, that's why we do these ratings first. But on to the good. As you can see, we got a lot of stuff here. Being an action movie, the action's got to be good, and the John Wick franchise is known for great action, especially the choreography and stunt work, and I think it's not really any different here. I think the action is fantastic, whether it's the hand-to-hand combat that is as good as ever, or the more fun spectacle using various things as weapons even including flamethrowers, I thought was pretty awesome.
Yes, so that is why fire is there in bold or capital letters, not bold. But yeah, that was probably some of my favorite stuff. It definitely felt different. I don't believe I remember. It's been a while since I've watched all the John Wick movies, but I don't believe they've ever used a flamethrower before.
They had that like dragon's breath, like shotgun in the fourth one. It
Okay,
shot like sparks, and then their bodies were on
that's
fire.
true.
But it's not
That
like
was pretty
this.
cool.
This
No,
is
this is very cool use of it. Not only just kind of using it as a gimmick kind of thing. I think they they did a very good job using it. Made it very fun.
Yeah, and they use it
Like
a
the John
lot.
Wick.
It's not just like,
They
oh,
did use
here's
it a lot.
one kill or something. It's like for like
It,
5, 10 minutes
it,
using that
it,
flamethrower.
it actually made me wonder, and I didn't actually look this up, but it made me like, how long can flamethrowers actually last? Because I honestly don't know. Like, I just think of like some video games. It seems like if you have that as a weapon, it like barely lasts you
Yeah.
at all. Most of the time, it seems like. So I'm like, I wonder how long an actual flamethrower does last.
Yeah.
And yeah, it made me think like, wow, it must be a long time because we're getting a lot of use out of it, and I really like it.
Yeah, yep. So the action, that whole style, and I think is just like you've seen previously, and along with that style, like the visuals, how they show the fights, I think is really good. The visual effects aren't really that distracting, maybe a moment here or there, but when they're actually doing a lot of the stunt work themselves, it really frees them up to have to not have to distract from those things. And I think the all of it, the locations were pretty cool as well. You have a kind of a club scene in this one, as is in every
Gotta.
John Wick movie. And I thought this one looked pretty cool. It had a few different things with it, with the style of it that I thought was a little different, but again, kind of the same thing. And as you can see from the poster here, kind of in the bottom middle, it's a little snowy type area, and I think the visual of this mountainous, snowy landscape is something different for the franchise, and it gives it a unique feel. So I really like that.
Yeah, I really loved the look of all of this. Great locations used, and like you said, got to have some at the club. And what else are you gonna have at the club but music? And that is another solid thing. If you like the John Wick's kind of
Yeah,
typical soundtracks, score, this feels like it fits kind of in with all the other ones. They just I don't know. They just kind of make you feel like you're going on a mission with the character. They get like that cool vibe and makes you
yeah,
feel like, okay, I'm there with him almost. Or at least that's how I feel about him. And yeah, I felt the same way in this one. I really liked what they had for that. Um, and yeah, felt like I was with the character Eve, who I think she had a pretty good performance here. She felt kind of different enough. It wasn't like, oh, we're just going to take John Wick and just make a female character of John Wick that kind of
yeah,
with the same exact thing. She felt like she was a little bit different and had, especially struggles because yeah, this kind of starts the movie starts with her pretty young child, and then kind of grows up in this world and kind of has some difficulties getting through certain things. So I liked to see that. Um, and I'd like to think, in some world, if we were watching like a John Wick origin, you could maybe see a similar thing. Maybe he,
yeah,
had to learn to become the Baba Yaga. But yeah, I think this is a great way to introduce this character, and she felt different enough. And yeah, I thought she did a pretty good job.
yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see more because she's not at that legend status of him, and you get to see kind of the world from a noob's perspective, and thought they did a good job. Didn't make her like overpowered from the start or anything like that. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, and
And I
then
kind of feel I'd kind of be interested. This may be a little bit of a spoiler, but it's kind of the whole thing of the movie. She's kind of going on a vengeance feeling
yeah,
tour. I wonder how her character will change after this. It's kind of something that's
yeah,
fueled her whole life, not necessarily just like, I mean, I guess it's very similar to John Wick, like someone where, oh, they killed my dog and now I've got to take a whole movie to get back at him. Kind of, it's something that's brewed over her whole kind of life to
yeah.
this point. So I wonder where her character would go kind of after now that she's gotten past that, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the universe, kind of like you said, with her backstory and everything she's doing, it introduces us to a new part of the John Wick universe, adding more groups and different things like that, and tying into different things from different movies. And I think that felt pretty seamless to me, that it just fits right in, whether it's with all the style that we already mentioned and the characters, some characters from other movies, and even the new things feel like they fit right into this world.
Hmm.
And onto the mixed aspects of the film. We've got the story. Um, I I'm like it might hurt her character as well, just kind of with kind of her mission and maybe some side missions that pop up here and there. I didn't feel like I was that invested in any of them. Which I thought I would be. I was like going into this like John Wick as a character isn't that interesting past the first film. It's just
Hmm.
all about the action, and I'm like
Yeah.
getting like a new character in here introduced. And I'm like, this should be like pretty strong, like character wise and story wise, maybe of the bunch. But I felt like it was just kind of more of the same, even though she did a great job in the role. I thought maybe it would go a little deeper and a little more interesting story wise.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have maybe liked that a little bit more because, yeah, like I said, it is kind of her growing up and stuff. I feel like I wish I could have seen maybe just even a little bit more of
Yeah,
kind of some time in between. I think they showed a little bit, but if there could have been even kind of more like, spot checks of her kind of growing up in that world, like maybe, I don't know, what she saw and witnessed and
yeah,
stuff a little bit more. That could be interesting,
yeah,
a little bit more interesting, especially, yeah, if maybe she interacted with more and more of kind of maybe some of the characters that we know of. There are a couple, but if you got even more of those kind of interactions when maybe she was a little bit younger, that would be potentially interesting.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I think it's not an awful story though, and that's why I don't think it goes in the bad.
yeah,
I don't think it was like, wow, this is just horrible.
yeah,
It's just kind of yeah, very John Wick feeling typical story.
yeah.
But
Yep. And you mentioned the side characters and feel like there's some really good ones. And I just would have hoped for maybe a little more of those. And there's some that are introduced and it's like, oh, they're going to be really important to the story. And it's like, well, did we really need them for like to move the story along when we already had these other things moving the story along? Feels like maybe they were just there to kind of be cool and add a little more stakes to it. And uh yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's no like bad side characters. It's just not as standout. Again, kind of comparing it to the previous one, I felt like the John Wick 4 had some really, really good side characters. I'm like, this is
mm-hmm.
more average.
Yeah, for me, I think there was just maybe two more standouty side characters with the Norman Reedus character and then the arms dealer. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, I forget.
Uh, I thought both of them were really good. I'd love to see them in future films if they were to team up with the ballerina here. I think that could be really
Yeah.
really interesting. But yeah, I think I really would have liked to see a little bit more of the. I don't remember what her actual name is or what they call her, but the kind of person in charge of all the ballerinas and stuff, the
Oh,
woman.
yeah.
I feel like because we've seen her in other movies, in the John Wick movies,
Yeah.
like he's involved with her. Um, I just wish we could have maybe learned a little bit more, a few more
Yeah.
things about her, and that's where maybe I think if you did kind of maybe do more, you know, points in time checking on her,
Mhm. Yeah.
throughout as she's growing up there. You could have
Yeah.
had some more interactions with her and maybe learn a little bit more about her character. I think
Yeah.
that would have been good, especially since it's kind of all focused in a little bit of pretty good focus on their group.
Yeah.
Just maybe learning a little bit more about that would have been good.
Yeah. I
And then
agree.
and then yeah, we got John Wick, who I'm just gonna be honest, spoilery. I don't think he needed to be in this movie. I think they did it just for marketing purposes, trying to get people to come watch the movie. Um, hopefully it works, because it is a solid movie. It's definitely, I think, one worth watching, especially in theaters, if you like to go to movies in theaters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it could have very easily been bad. They could have done things that would have made it bad, but
Yeah.
they chose to keep his character strong.
Yes,
They did
he
not
is.
allow him to be buried,
Yeah,
and
he is
that is
protected if you're worried about that for certain reasons that happen in a lot of movies. He's pretty protected in this one, and I
yes.
really like that.
Yeah, I like that because it seems like so many these days are just willing to sacrifice these great characters that they've built up just to try to prove something that doesn't actually need to happen. I
Yeah.
don't know. Sometimes I feel like they think they need to do that and they don't. It actually probably makes people dislike them.
Yeah.
I think it's something that yeah, people end up disliking more than liking. I don't know many times where if you really
Yeah.
like a character and then a new character that's kind of maybe going to replace them comes in and they just easily whoop up on him or something. I don't think that's usually a helpful thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think people cheer
Thankfully,
that on.
I think
But
they did
luckily
it.
there wasn't that.
I think they did it realistic for this franchise. Obviously, I think they
Hmm.
handled all the characters pretty realistically. And I kind of like, you say he doesn't need to be in this, but since he has this kind of legend status, I would kind of like to see more spin-offs, like set in the past, where we do get to see him just show up. And you're like, oh my goodness, just like every single time he shows up sometime and takes care of business, it's like, oh, that's one of those reasons why he's become this legend. And here's maybe something
That's
that's
true.
hinted at in a different movie. And I'd like to see that as just this looming, mysterious figure in all spin-offs that they might make.
That's true. Yeah.
And on to the bad. We have the villain and the ending. So I guess yeah, the villain here. It just feels like another villain. Nothing really special. There's interesting things about kind of the villain and their group, and I like some aspects, and some of it's really interesting. But in the end, the villain itself and kind of what they do with the whole deal, I don't think really went where I would have liked it to go, or in at least a very interesting way. So it's just kind of meh for me.
Yeah, they just seem to kind of peter out, which I think also kind of leads into the ending that we get. The villain kind of just very feels like it just very quickly gets kind of overtaken and then you kind of are like, how much control did they really have to begin with? Because I would have thought they should have had a pretty good advantage here, but I guess not.
I guess.
Especially after seeing Ballerina interact with John Wick, I would have thought maybe they'd have a little bit better fighting chance, but
Yeah,
not to be, not to be.
not to be, but yeah, the ending, like the overall thing, the third act is the best action of the bunch, and some of the best of the franchise.
Yeah,
Just like the very end conclusion, wrapping up of the battle wasn't that great at all. Maybe the weakest of the franchise, probably for
yeah,
sure.
I would agree. I would I would very much agree.
I'm like, and the reasons for kind of how it goes down, I'm like, what was the plan here? I don't like, what were you thinking? I don't get it, but. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Overall, it's still a really solid movie. It doesn't take
mhm.
it down too much.
Yeah. I don't even know what I can't even say what I would have done differently. Probably would have ended up about the same, regardless of how you did it. I
Yeah,
can't think of any like clever things you could have done. So, but yeah, if they maybe would have had something come up with something a little bit more interesting, some maybe you know last minute kind of twists on things,
yeah,
possibly, then I think it could have helped this one just even a little bit more. Maybe got it up to 8.59 status, but yeah, just because of that is kind of like
yeah,
not quite as strong, like you said, as the other one. So it's kind of a little bit of a comparison to maybe the other John Wick films, which maybe isn't fair, like you
yeah.
said, judging it on its own.
As a reference, I have John Wick 4 is like one of my favorite movies of all time, and I would say this kind of falls in with all the rest of them. Is kind of how I rank it. I have John Wick 4, and I have all the rest, and I still feel like the only one I have to ever really have to watch again is John Wick 4. But
Hmm.
this is still a good time if you like the franchise for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, if you liked the video, you can give us a thumbs up, subscribe for future reviews and trailer reactions.
Yeah.
I don't even remember, did we react to this trailer?
I don't know. It might have come out before we did reaction.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, but otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on that movie theater popcorn.